Hello, future medical professionals. Welcome to Synapse, your ultimate NEET preparation platform. Today, we are diving deep into Class 11 Biology, Chapter Breathing and Exchange of Gases, focusing specifically on respiratory organs. We'll embark on a journey through 4 levels of understanding, from the basics to competitive depth. Get ready to explore the fascinating world of how living beings breathe. Let's start with the fundamentals. What exactly are respiratory organs and why are they so vital for life? Respiratory organs are specialized parts of an organism's body designed to facilitate gas exchange, taking in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. This process is absolutely crucial because oxygen is needed by every cell in your body to produce energy, a process called cellular respiration. Without it, life as we know it simply wouldn't be possible. And as a byproduct of this energy production, carbon dioxide is formed, which needs to be efficiently removed from the body to prevent its accumulation and potential toxicity. The diversity of life on Earth means a diversity of respiratory organs. Simple organisms like amoeba or earthworms can breathe directly through their moist skin. Insects, with their unique needs, use a system of tubes called trachea. Aquatic animals, like fish, rely on specialized structures called gills to extract oxygen from water. And for us, along with birds, reptiles, and many other land animals, the primary respiratory organs are the lungs. In humans, the lungs are two spongy, elastic organs located in your chest cavity, working tirelessly to keep you breathing. Time to test your basic understanding. Here are 3 easy questions. 1. Which gas do living organisms primarily take in during respiration? 2. Name the respiratory organ found in fish. And 3. Besides lungs, what other organ can some simple animals use for breathing? Think about the different examples we just discussed. Now, let's elevate our understanding. We'll explore the evolutionary journey and the intricate mechanisms of these vital organs. Respiratory organs haven't always been the same. They've undergone incredible evolutionary adaptations to suit different environments and the changing metabolic needs of organisms. For aquatic life, gills developed with vast surface areas and clever countercurrent exchange systems to efficiently pull oxygen from water, which has a much lower oxygen content than air. When life moved to land, lungs evolved. They became internalized to prevent water loss and developed complex internal structures, like alveoli, to maximize the surface area for gas exchange with air, providing a much-needed advantage in the drier terrestrial environment. Let's look closer at specific mechanisms. Fish gills are a marvel of efficiency. They're made of delicate filaments and lamellae, providing a huge area for gas exchange. The genius lies in the countercurrent flow. Water flows over the gills in one direction, while blood flows through the capillaries in the opposite direction. This maintains a steep oxygen gradient across the entire gill surface, maximizing oxygen extraction. Insects, on the other hand, use a tracheal system, a network of tubes opening to the outside via spiracles, directly delivering oxygen to their cells, bypassing the circulatory system for gas transport entirely, which is perfect for their small size and high activity. In humans, our respiratory system is a sophisticated pathway. Air enters through your nostrils, travels down through the pharynx and larynx, then into the trachea, which branches into 2 main bronchi, leading to each lung. These bronchi further divide into smaller bronchioles, eventually reaching tiny air sacs called alveoli, where the actual magic of gas exchange happens. The muscles of your diaphragm and the intercostal muscles between your ribs play a crucial role, working together to expand and contract your chest cavity, allowing you to breathe in and out. Ready for some medium-level challenges? Here are 5 questions. 1. Explain the primary function of gills in aquatic animals. 2. How do insects breathe without lungs? 3. List the main pathway of air in the human respiratory system, starting from the nostrils. 4. What is the significance of a large surface area in respiratory organs? And 5. What mechanism in fish gills significantly enhances oxygen uptake? Take your time and recall the details. Alright, it's time to step up. Let's delve into the deeper analysis and theoretical connections of respiratory organs. When we compare respiratory systems, we see remarkable diversity. Cutaneous respiration, like in earthworms or amphibians, relies on moist skin for gas exchange, but it's limited to small bodies or wet environments. Book lungs in spiders are internalized, plate-like structures, a terrestrial adaptation. Gills, efficient in water, collapse in air. Lungs, found in vertebrates, vary from simple sacs in amphibians to highly complex structures in mammals and birds. Mammalian lungs use tidal breathing, while avian lungs have a unique unidirectional flow through parabronchi, making them incredibly efficient for flight and high metabolic rates. This comparison highlights the evolutionary pressures shaping these organs. Gas exchange fundamentally follows Fick's law of diffusion. This law states that the rate of diffusion is directly proportional to the surface area, the diffusion coefficient, and the partial pressure gradient, but inversely proportional to the membrane thickness. For instance, in our lungs, the enormous surface area of the alveoli, combined with the extremely thin alveolar capillary membrane, which is only about 0.5 to 1 micrometer thick, and the constant maintenance of partial pressure gradients by breathing and blood flow, all work together to maximize the efficiency of oxygen uptake and carbon dioxide release. This intricate design ensures rapid and effective gas exchange. Respiratory regulation is a finely tuned process. Your breathing rate and depth are primarily controlled by the respiratory rhythm center in your brain's medulla oblongata. This center receives crucial feedback from chemoreceptors. Central chemoreceptors in the medulla itself are highly sensitive to changes in CO2 levels and pH in the cerebrospinal fluid, while peripheral chemoreceptors in your carotid and aortic bodies monitor oxygen, CO2, and pH in the blood. Interestingly, it's the CO2 levels, rather than O2, that are the primary drivers for adjusting your ventilation, ensuring efficient removal of this metabolic waste product and maintaining blood pH homeostasis. Time for some challenging questions. 1. Compare and contrast cutaneous respiration with pulmonary respiration, highlighting their advantages and disadvantages. 2. Explain how Fick's law of diffusion applies to gas exchange in the alveoli. 3. Describe the unique features of a bird's respiratory system that make it highly efficient. 4. What is the primary chemical stimulus for regulating breathing rate in humans? 5. How do respiratory pigments contribute to the efficiency of gas transport? 6. Why are gills ineffective for gas exchange in terrestrial environments? And 7. Discuss the evolutionary significance of the internalization of respiratory surfaces in terrestrial animals. Welcome to the hardest level. Here, we'll push the boundaries of your knowledge, exploring competitive depths, bioengineering insights, and the cutting edge of respiratory science. The evolution of respiratory organs showcases incredible phylogenetic diversity and striking examples of convergent evolution. Across diverse phyla, from annelids with cutaneous respiration to arthropods with tracheal systems or book lungs, and mollusks with gills or mantle cavities, distinct solutions emerged for the universal challenge of gas exchange. Convergent evolution is evident when unrelated species develop analogous structures to solve similar problems, like gills in fish and crabs, or the internalized, air-breathing structures like book lungs in arachnids and lungs in vertebrates. Even the embryonic origins vary, with different germ layers contributing to these structures, highlighting the independent evolutionary paths taken to achieve functional respiration. From a bioengineering perspective, respiratory systems are masterpieces of optimization. Consider the fractal branching of our airways, from the trachea to the tiny bronchioles. This design maximizes airflow distribution while minimizing resistance, ensuring efficient delivery of air to the vast exchange surface. The human lung boasts an astonishing 70 to 100 square meters of alveolar surface area, equivalent to a tennis court, packed into your chest. This immense surface, coupled with an ultra-thin alveolar capillary membrane, optimizes diffusion. Furthermore, the concept of ventilation-perfusion matching, VQ ratio, is crucial. The body constantly regulates local airflow and blood flow to ensure that ventilated alveoli are adequately perfused with blood, maximizing gas exchange efficiency. Pulmonary surfactant, produced by type 2 pneumocytes, plays a vital role in reducing surface tension, preventing alveolar collapse, and making breathing easier. At the cellular and molecular level, the lung is a bustling factory. Type I pneumocytes form the incredibly thin barrier for gas exchange, while type 2 pneumocytes produce surfactant, vital for maintaining alveolar integrity. Alveolar macrophages act as the lung's immune defense. Oxygen transport is intricately regulated by hemoglobin's allosteric properties. The Bohr effect, where hemoglobin's oxygen affinity decreases with lower pH or higher CO2, ensures O2 is released exactly where it's needed in the tissues. Conversely, the Haldane effect facilitates CO2 uptake in tissues and release in the lungs. CO2 itself is transported primarily as bicarbonate ions, a process accelerated by the enzyme carbonic anhydrase and involving the chloride shift. Understanding these molecular interactions is key to grasping the full efficiency of respiration. Respiratory organs also show incredible adaptations to extreme environments. At high altitudes, the body responds to chronic hypoxia by increasing red blood cell production, boosting hemoglobin concentration, and increasing ventilation, all to maximize oxygen capture. Diving mammals, like seals, exhibit remarkable adaptations, a dive reflex involving bradycardia and peripheral vasoconstriction to conserve oxygen for vital organs, and a high concentration of myoglobin in their muscles for local oxygen storage. In clinical settings, understanding respiratory organ function is critical for treating conditions like asthma, emphysema, and pulmonary fibrosis. Moreover, advanced medical technologies like mechanical ventilators and extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, or ECMO, directly apply bioengineering principles to support or even temporarily replace failing respiratory systems, highlighting the profound impact of this knowledge on human health and survival. Alright, buckle up for the first 5 of 10 challenging questions. 1. Elaborate on the concept of convergent evolution as seen in the development of respiratory organs across different animal phyla, providing specific examples beyond basic lungs and gills. 2. Explain the physiological significance of ventilation-perfusion matching, VQ ratio, in the human lung and describe the local regulatory mechanisms that help maintain it. 3. Discuss the roles of type I and type 2 pneumocytes in the alveoli, specifically detailing the molecular composition and function of surfactant. 4. Describe the Bohr effect and the Haldane effect, explaining how they facilitate efficient oxygen loading in the lungs and unloading in the tissues, respectively. And 5. How do diving mammals overcome the physiological challenges of prolonged breath holding and high pressure during deep dives, focusing on adaptations of their respiratory and circulatory systems? Continuing with the final 5 hardest questions. 6. Analyze the impact of emphysema on the mechanics of breathing and gas exchange, linking it to changes in lung compliance and surface area. 7. Compare and contrast the respiratory adaptations of animals living at high altitudes with those living in hypoxic aquatic environments. 8. Explain the complete biochemical pathway for carbon dioxide transport in the blood, including the role of carbonic anhydrase and the chloride shift. 9. From an engineering perspective, discuss how the fractal branching of the bronchial tree optimizes airflow distribution and minimizes resistance. And 10. Detail the principles behind extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, ECMO, and how it functionally replaces or supports the respiratory organs in critically ill patients. And that concludes our deep dive into respiratory organs. We've journeyed from basic definitions to the intricate bioengineering and molecular mechanisms that make breathing possible. We hope this comprehensive session has enriched your understanding and prepared you for your NEET exams. Remember, for more such in-depth content and to ace your NEET preparation, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates and expert guidance. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep aiming for success with Synapse.